Welcome to Shomar Shavan Daf, your sponsor, Lord Nishba Sam Yakushom Leabas Yitzchok. We're holding in Sanhedrin Daf Pei Aleph. The Gemara in Amud Aleph, towards the bottom, brings the drasha on the Paskuk in Sefer Yechezkel. The Paskuk says, Elehorim lo yochol, did not eat the mountains. Ve'einav lo yinoso el giluli beis Yisrael, he didn't raise his eyes to look at Avodah Zarah. Ves Eishes Re'eu lo yitimeh, he didn't have a relationship with Eishes Ish. He wasn't close to Isha Nida. As Rashi explains, the Gemara is bothered with this pasuk because the pasuk ends and says that Tzaddik who choyo yichye is going to live on Olam Hazeh, live on Olam Habo, because he's such a tzaddik. If he didn't do this terrible averis, that's what makes him a tzaddik. So therefore, the Gemara has to dash it a little differently. And the Gemara says, he did not eat the schus avoisov. He did not rely on the schus of his parents. Ve'einav lo yinoso el giluli beis Yisrael means he didn't go b'koyim skufa. He didn't go in gaiva. As some of the Roshim explain, he did not start a business when he was allowed to have a competition with his friend. He didn't take money from tzedakah, even though he could take it. He didn't take money from tzedakah. Now the shaila is, what is the connection between all these attributes of this tzaddik? It's just four random things they did. Obviously, he has to be connected. What is it? So the Maharal in Chidushei Haggadah says something. It seems like there's a little part of the Maharal that's missing. So the Maharal seems to say is as follows. We'll start with two nekudas the Maharal speaks about a lot in other places. Number one is that the Ikar Adam is for Adam to be independent. Ha'adam who's living, chayim means like mayim chayim. The same way water, when you speak about a spring of water that goes on its own, it's called mayim chayim because it's independent. It doesn't get water from a different source. It has its own source. For a person to be considered chay, to be alive, he needs to be independent. The second ikudah is that always a person has to relate to three things. Ben adam lamakoy, between him and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ben adam lachaver, between him and his friend. And bin adam la'atzmoi, between a person and himself. So Zog the Maharal, all these four things connect. That we're talking about a person who's independent and doesn't have to encroach into someone else's territory. So number one, we say, he does not enjoy schus avoisov. He doesn't need the schus avois to exist. He has his own schusim. That's the title. This person lives b'schus atzmoi. The Maharal brings the Gemara in Brachas Daf Yud Zayin that says, we talk about tzaddikim, abirei lev harechoikim min hatzdaka, kol ha'olam nizoyim min hatzdaka ve'hem nizoyim b'zroya. The whole world needs to rely on the chesed of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, on the chesed Avos. But the tzaddikim are the ones, they have their own right. They have their own schus. So that is the title of the pasuk. Eloharim lo yochel. He's independent. He has his own schusim to live in this world. And now the pasuk goes to three details. They have to do ben adam la'makom, ben adam la'chaveiroi, u ben adam la'atzvoi. Ben adam la'makom is shelo yholach b'koyim skufo. He doesn't have gaiva in him. As the Maharal brings the Gemara in Kiddushin that says, mishehoidach b'koyim skufo, kilu doichek raglei shchina. Someone who goes with Koyim Eskufo, he is pushing away HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who has Gaiva in the world. Not a human being. It's not the place of a human being. The world belongs to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And this is very fitting to the Paskuk. The Paskuk says, Ve'einav lo yinoso el giluli beis Yisrael. It's called Avodah Zarah. It's called Inayim Lashon Gaiva. And Avodah Zarah, because when a person is doichek raglei hashchina, that means he takes away, so to speak, HaKadosh Baruch Hu from here. That's the essence of Avodah Zarah. Then we're speaking, min adam lechaveiroi. He didn't go into the business of his friend, so he's not encroaching into his friend's territory. And this is fitting to call it Eishes Re'eu, as the Maharal and the Maharsha mention over here, that the parnas of a person is called his wife. And then the third thing is ben adam la'atzmoi. When a person takes money from tzedakah, so he himself is not complete. He's relying on tzedakah, even though he's not taking maybe from a specific person, but he himself is incomplete. So that's ben adam la'atzmoi. Now, why is called the Kupa Tzedakah Nido? So the Maharal says something. He says, Pshat is that Nido means that the woman is helping the husband, but when she's Nido, she is far away from him. So Tzedakah is giving parnas to this person, but it's not really his. It's far away from him. That's why it's called Nido. But the Ben Yoyada says, Davar Nifla Moed. He says, Pshat is like this. The Schar Mitzvahs Behai Al Maleka. Meaning a person does mitzvahs in this world, but he cannot enjoy it in this world. He has to wait to get to Olam Haba to enjoy the mitzvahs. So he says that's similar to a nida. A nida is one's wife, but you can't be with her until you pass the 7 days of Shiva Nikim. So Adam needs to pass this world, Shivim Shana, connected Shiva Nikim, in order to go and enjoy the mitzvahs. Someone who is eating from tzedakah, he goes and says a little derech drush. Why do they give him tzedakah? They give it tzedakah to someone they check and make sure that he's Yerei Shamayim, that he does Torah and mitzvahs, and then they give him tzedakah. So he is benefiting from his Torah and mitzvahs in this world. So he's miskar l'isha nida. He's getting close to the nida. He's benefiting from his own mitzvahs in this world. Palakol Panim explains the Maharal, all the items we're speaking here in this Paskuk all are the same concept that a person has to be independent and not to encroach into something else that doesn't belong to him. And according to this, it's very understood why they're all connected together. And this is the pshat in the Paskuk. The Paskuk says, a person who is so independent, he doesn't rely on the Zechus Avos. And Ben Adam Lamakam is not a Baal Gaifo. Ben Adam Lachaver, he doesn't take the umnus of his friend. Ben Adam Lahatzo, he doesn't take tzedakah. He's a real independent person in his life. So Choya Yichye gets Chaim in Olam Hazeh, gets Chaim in Olam Habo. He's a tzaddik who is really independent, stands on his own. Anyone who wants to join the Shomachshava email list to WhatsApp group, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.